Welcome everyone back to weekly weather updates, and in today's video we're going to have a look at the latest from the live radar, run through the UKV, have a look at the precipitation and the temperature over the next 5 days as Storm Betty is now clearing out into the North Sea and North Atlantic, and we're going to generally be replaced by warmer and dry conditions over the next 5 days. Unfortunately, as we'll see in the longer term, things could be going a little bit more downhill as we do progress towards the end of August to the final few days into early September, as it's looking likely low pressure makes much more of an influence, and even some of the runs today are showing a bit of a cut-off low pattern, which would keep it fairly cool and fairly unsettled for all. So do remember, if you enjoy my videos, make sure you like and subscribe, and remember to follow me on Twitter as well, the link's in the description. To start on the live radar, you can see the remnants of Storm Betty now out to the north. The centre of the low is just to the north and west of Scotland, so we've still got a few heavier showers and moderate areas of rain across Scotland, Northern Ireland. But most areas turning drier now, and it's going to be a fairly decent rest of the afternoon and rest of the next few days, as it's generally warmer and drier. Now the temperatures this afternoon were fairly decent, or are fairly decent. You can see in the east widely into the low to maybe even high as mid-20s, 25, 26 degrees is possible today. And if we do have a look at the past 24-hour precipitation, you'll be able to see how much rainfall we did see. Northern Ireland really saw the heaviest amounts, including Republic of Ireland as well, with some real heavy bouts of precipitation. But you can also see where we saw thunderstorms in the southeast. Really stark difference between areas in Kent here. Darker greens and yellows appearing, showing tens of millimetres. Others areas lighter green, showing more just trace amounts of rain, only a few millimetres. A few heavier showers through London as well. You can see some darker streaks there. Again, just showing you the very big regional variability we do have when looking at thunderstorms. But if you look at the next 5 days or so, you can see we're going to see a lot of improvement as we do see higher pressure try and build in the south. Now you can see through this afternoon things are pretty good actually. Plenty of sunshine, a few showers around, but fairly warm and pleasant. Into Sunday, very similar conditions, again a few showers around, but widely again fairly warm and fairly pleasant. Into Monday, similar conditions for many southern and eastern areas, few more showers in the north and the west, but those should move away. And into Tuesday, another fairly warm and fairly dry day with just a few showers dotted around, and that will continue into Wednesday. A bit more thick cloud and some drizzly rain in sort of the Midlands, northern England sort of area. That could start to appear, and some showers in northern parts of Scotland, but still fairly decent. Beyond that though, low pressure is coming in off the Atlantic in the north and west, and that is going to sit by us, and that's going to give us much more cooler and unsettled conditions, ending this sort of warmer, drier spell. And you can see that with low pressure out there to the west of Scotland, and you see the upper air temperatures sweeping away a lot of this warmer air with much cooler North Atlantic air. Now, if you look at the max temperatures, you can see today widely low 20s, peaking at 25, maybe 26, and that's going to repeat itself over the next few days. Again, Sunday 24, 25, 26 in the south and the east. Monday very similar, 24, 25, 26 there. Cooler northwards and westwards, but still fairly decent at the time of year. And as we head into Tuesday, basically the same temperatures. Wednesday can actually be even slightly warmer in parts of the far south. 27 or 28 degrees is possible, for it will get slowly swept away through Thursday and Friday. So the southeast could still be decent on Thursday, but I expect all areas by Friday to be back down to average, if not below average, with more showers moving in. And we see that well reflected on the longer range charts. Now, if we look at the latest GFS, you can see low pressure associated with the Storm Betty out to our west, spiralling around. High pressure built in for much this working week in the south before low pressure moves in off the Atlantic. Again, it's a weak area of low pressure, but it's going to be sat nearby or on top of us for a number of days, giving us lots of shower risk and cooler air. Beyond that, generally into the longer term, you see lots of lows coming in off the Atlantic, keeping us very unsettled, especially with potentially even some extratropical systems getting involved. That would power up the jet stream, and it would keep us very unsettled and fairly cool into the longer term. You can see a warmer air mass moves in here, but you can see plenty of close to 0 degree isotherms moving in, with plenty of blues appearing in the medium to longer term. Now, if to compare to the GM, again, low pressure moving in off the Atlantic at the moment. High pressure topples in, or attempts to topple in, but we see sort of a trapped low pressure system that moves in the latter part of next week. And then eventually, all the way to day 10, fairly similar pattern with lots of northwesterly or westerly flows. Again, and potentially another ex-tropical system moving in there from the west. And just generally, as I said, cool and fairly unsettled. Again, it's not ridiculously cold, still generally some warmer air across Europe that could feed in at times, but with the air masses coming in from the north and the west, it's going to bring in moisture, so showers, cloud, and of course cooler conditions with that air originating probably from Greenland. And finally, for the long range charts, we look at the ECMWF. Generally fairly unsettled conditions, again with Storm Betty clearing, high pressure builds in, especially for the south, before low pressure moves back in for the end of next working week and dominates. Plenty more lows moving in, and at day 10 a very similar picture to the other runs with northwesterly winds, low pressure sat towards Iceland trying to move our way, and you can see generally not particularly warm air. Here we've got a bit of a warmer sector, but the overall pattern would be cooler air coming in from the northwest, and even this warmer sector here won't really reflect warmer temperatures at the surface because it'll be trapped with lots of cloud and areas of rain coming in off the Atlantic. And we can see this well reflected on the ensembles. If we look at the latest GFS, you can see decent over the next 5 days, fairly warm, as I said, widely above average. And very dry, see minimal precipitation all the way to sort of the 23rd, 24th. But by the 25th, we are below average again, and saying below average, maybe as high as average through the end of August and early September, and generally quite a bit of precipitation. So it's going to be turning unsettled and pretty cold as we do progress beyond. Again, the 2 meter temperatures reflect that as well. The next 5 days, pretty warm, summery conditions, and then it all drops off to high teens, maybe at best low 20s in the southeast. And of course, northern areas are going to be worse than this in terms of temperatures, and will have likely more precipitation as well. And then finally, if we compare to the ECM WF ensembles, again slightly above average over the next 5 days, dropping average to below average beyond that, and it's going to keep it pretty miserable indeed, with plenty of showers and generally cooler conditions. Now this has come on quite under the radar as we have been focused on Storm Betty and all the thunderstorms and associated impacts over the last few days. It has come in a little bit under the radar, but has slowly transitioned over the last few days from something a bit warmer, something a bit more warmer and unsettled, and now finally a bit colder and unsettled. But at the same time, things can revert, things can change back, and luckily we're not looking at any cooler weather arriving for at least another 5 or 6 days, so there's still time for things to change, and fingers crossed we see that, or we're not really going to be seeing anything great as we progress towards the end of summer, apart from the next few days. So make sure you enjoy the next sort of 4 or 5 days. It is going to be fairly decent for most. It's not going to be anything like a heat wave. It's not going to be 100% dry everywhere, but it's going to be fairly dry, fairly sunny, and fairly warm for quite a few. So anyway, thanks for watching. Hope you enjoyed. Make sure you enjoy this summery weather, and I'll see you again for another video soon.